One of the biggest misunderstandings that we have is that we think our attachments, the things that we're attached to outside of us, are our answer to what we want to feel inside of us. So if I can have that or get that, then I'll finally feel loved enough. I'll finally feel happy. I'll finally feel joyful. I'll finally have the meaning that I want. I'll finally feel a sense of safety and security that I want so badly. But no matter how much we get or how much we have, it's just never enough. It just doesn't fill us or satisfy us like we think it will. And what we miss in all of that is that everything that we want is already in us. Everything we want to feel is in us. The love that we want, the joy that we want, we have it. It's God in us. And we have to learn how to access what's already in us rather than blocking it. But we're living with these blocks inside that keep us from experiencing the fullness and the freedom of all of it that we really want to feel. And what we're going to discuss the three main ways that we block God's love and our own love and the joy and the peace on the inside, so that we can't access it, so that we'll be able to access it after we learn how to unblock it. But we're starting this week. We'll address the next two in the next couple of weeks. But starting this week, we're going to be talking about our blocking beliefs. And what I mean by that is we limit in our mind what we decide is going to make us feel happy or feel loved enough or feel joyful or feel secure or safe. And if you decide that you need something to make you feel happy or feel loved or have meaning or feel enough, then you're not happy. You're not going to be, because it's going to depend on that thing. You can't feel happiness because you decided I can't without that thing. You decided things have to be a certain way in order for me to feel that way, to feel happy or joyful or whatever. And the things that you now say will make you happy, and then you'll claim that you're right because they do. And that's the biggest trap that could ever exist, because it may be temporarily, but it won't for long. And it's because you're limiting yourself to those things by those blocking beliefs. If you sit there and think, I am not enough and something is wrong with me, I'm not lovable, I'm not loved, I'm missing something, that's a nice blockage. That's like what we talked about last week, is eating bad food. As we talked about last week, you're eating bad food and you're covering up your natural state of health. And then you wonder why you don't feel well. You wonder why you get sick. And it's just the same with those blocking beliefs that we have. But believing if everything will go along with what matches the blockages the way that I want, then I'll be okay. It just doesn't work that way, and we're setting ourselves up for failure and a whole lot of frustration. And then when something happens that seems to match the blockage that we have inside, it seems to match what we want, then you open and you feel it for a very temporary time, but it's completely dependent on that external person or that circumstance. And then you're attached to that thing for happiness or love or enoughness. You see that? And most often, subconsciously, because we have the belief in the first place that that thing is going to make us happy or bring us joy, then we end up unconsciously sabotaging the thing that we're attached to because we don't really feel worthy of it. And then it reinforces the lie, and that whole emotional cycle just continues. Do you relate? The love, the joy, the enoughness is inside of you. It was always inside of you. It will never not be inside of you. If you want real change, and if you want to access what's already inside of you and stop depending on your circumstances and other people to be happy or feel like you're enough or to have a certain situation or circumstance in order to feel safe or secure enough, then we have to first recognize what beliefs are blocking us from experiencing what we want to feel inside, what we want to experience inside. And then we've got to learn how to reprogram those beliefs, those blocking beliefs. And we got to write a new script and not just intellectually try to convince ourselves of something that we don't really believe and then will ourselves into trying to believe it. That doesn't work. or you've already done that. Yes, it's important to renew our minds and reprogram our beliefs, but we got to walk through the healing. We got to walk through the deeper process of reprogramming these at the subconscious level, where they're buried deep within, and they keep us stuck in that same old cycle, feeling further away from what we want to experience when it's right there inside of us. And all that God has for us is already fully accessible right now to us if we'll go within and unblock ourselves. So I want to challenge you today to begin to examine some of your deeply rooted beliefs and look honestly at how they're holding you emotionally hostage and how they're robbing you of what you really want most. Start with this. Complete this statement, or one of these statements. Some of these may apply, some may not. But I will feel happy when. I will finally feel enough or worthy when. I'll finally feel loved when. I'll feel wealthy or successful or whatever you want to feel when. You can also write it like this if you want to try this one. I refuse to be happy until, or I refuse to feel like I'm worthy or enough until. Complete all of those sentences for what you want to feel. And dive in and look at what's really blocking you. It's not your fault. You created these. You did them out of survival. You created these beliefs because of past experiences and what you learned how to do and what you learned about feeling. It's survival. And you've done the very best you can with what you have. But it's time to learn something new and better so you can experience all the newness that you want to experience. And you can experience it inside of you right now, where it can never leave and never be rocked and never go away. So reach out so I can walk you through the reprogramming, the healing. And if you missed last week, I hope you'll go back and watch the video. But you can be free from these negative limiting belief blockages. And you can be totally free so that you don't have to stay in the frustrating cycle. We don't just change our thinking. It doesn't work that way. But what we can do is we can reprogram. It's a deeper process of reprogramming our thinking at a subconscious level, like I said, so that we can really transform how we think, how we feel, and fully understand who we are in our true identity and our worth, our true significance. And that's what I walk out with my clients. And as a result, your life, your experience every day will never be the same. There is true healing, true breakthrough, and true freedom. So if you're ready for that, click that button below, and all of that is that is inside of you comes flowing out in its fullness as a result. You finally realize that you were never missing anything, and you're not missing anything because it's all right here in you, and it's time to access it.